Can we talk?
I can't. I don't want to. Someone else.
Just go away. I just want to talk.
I don't want to talk about it.
The first words a person says defines them for life.
Mama.
At least that's what I've heard.
Dad.
And if that's the case, then I'm screwed.
Uh-oh.
That's right. Uh-oh. My brain finally figures out how to move my lips, and I make the sound you hear right before everything goes to hell. You're going to fall!
Uh-oh.
Look out for the anvil!
Uh-oh.
And of course, here comes baby Kyle.
Uh-oh.
My parents clapped when they heard it. Now most parents would be worried or confused or offended, but not my parents. To them, uh-oh was just as good as mama or dada. Can you blame them? They were young, and I was probably the biggest uh-oh of them all. Maybe I did ruin everything. I don't know. But I do know one thing for sure. I started life out on the wrong foot, and they congratulated me for it.
My twin sister and I had our very own language. We'd lay side by side in our crib and babble for hours. We understood each other. Okay, maybe we didn't actually know what each other was saying, but we definitely knew what the other one was feeling. And isn't that the point of language anyway? To express our feelings? But as we got older, things changed. Words got in the way and messed everything up. Mine. I never understood the whole sticks and stones thing. As far as I could tell, words ruined everything.
Idiot, dork, loser.
They didn't express feelings. They hurt them.
Go away!
Ooh, Lalome.
If I hold my breath for a really, really, really long time, I can get whatever I want without saying anything. You want to see? Whew, that was awesome. That'll get me a new Barbie for sure. Little longer, I might even get that new dream house. Actions really do speak louder than words, especially if that action kills you.
I say a lot of stupid things. I can't help it. An idea pops in my mind and I don't know what to do with it. Most of the time, I know these ideas are stupid, so I try to keep them to myself. I really do. I just hope they lodge in the 90% of my brain that I'm not using. But sooner or later, they wiggle free and do a backflip off of my tongue.
Who wants to save a cat?
Who wants to shave that
Let's
cat?
find a cat. Let's save that cat.
Let's find the cat. Where's the
Who wants to
cat?
save a cat?
I
I saved the cat.
The summer I came down with laryngitis was the best ever. For one time in my life, I could have all the stupid ideas I wanted, no matter how hard they wiggled, they couldn't escape. It was great. My friends were happy, my parents were happy, my cat was really happy. But then, stupid things found a way out. Turns out it wasn't laryngitis after all. It was puberty.
Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Use your inside voice. Speak up. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. I hope you don't eat with that mouth.
I'll wash your mouth out with soap.
If you don't have anything nice to say,
Don't walk away from me.
don't say anything at all. I am not done talking to you. Not another word.
Boys.
My parents actually paid someone to sit in a chair and listen to me talk. Well, the joke's on them. It's my therapist who likes to talk. A lot. What she doesn't like to do is listen. When I told her my dad would rather go hunting than spend time with me, she went into this long, boring story about this time she hit a moose with her car and almost died. When I told her all my mother wants to do is sleep, she went into this 30-minute rant about her lumpy mattress. Now, after a few months of this, I just couldn't take it anymore. I said, I'm done wasting my breath. That's it. No more questions. Thought we were good. But then she came at me from a different angle. She told me to draw my feelings.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know it sounds ridiculous, but what doesn't? So, I drew.
What are you sad about?
Another question. Just kept drawing.
You don't seem that happy.
Now, I couldn't tell if she was stupid or clueless, and trust me, there's a difference. When you're stupid, you can't figure things out. But when you're clueless, you just don't care.
Are you constipated?
Turns out she was both.
Why are you angry?
Wasn't it her job to figure this out? I'm just drawing pictures.
Is that a pineapple?
No, it's me.
How can a person feel like a pineapple?
I don't know. How can a person feel like me?
This month, my mom thinks she's artistic. Trust me, she's not. If you need proof, just come check out our kitchen wall. She sponge painted a hideous border of chickens across the backsplash. What's worse is she didn't even use a level, so the chickens gradually descend toward the sink, like they're committing suicide or something. It's tragic. Her latest thing is photography. She set up a studio in the laundry room and takes pictures of other people's babies. You know the ones I'm talking about. The ones where they're all dressed up like vegetables. People actually pay her money to do this. All she does is throw a blanket over the washing machine and cram newborns into a head of lettuce. You should see the pictures. They're horrible. Soon, everyone's going to figure out that she doesn't have a clue. And they'll start laughing at her again. We all know it's coming. But so long as she's taking her medication, we're not allowed to talk about it. Not ever. Her mood is the permanent elephant in the room. Only this time, it's not an elephant. It's a chicken.
Dad, he sits on the couch all day long and watches one talk show after another.
Mom, never. Stop.
He likes to hear losers talk about their problems because it makes him feel
No
better
matter
about
what
his
time
own.
of day you pass by our house, you can always
He
hear
laughs
something
at all the
funny.
hoarders who save empty milk cartons, used razors, and dead cats.
She yells at me every time I walk across the
But
living
he
room.
should take a look in the mirror.
You can practically see
I can
your
barely-
reflection in the carpet.
I can barely walk through the living room.
Where am I supposed to go?
There is junk piles
It's so
everywhere.
maddening.
So embarrassing.
Doesn't she realize that life is supposed to be messy?
And everyone wants to have friends
I'm not
over.
allowed to have
What would I
friends.
tell
What should
them?
I tell them?
What
What
a mess!
I get down on my hands and knees and beg my parents to get me a dog. But they just went on talking as if I wasn't even there. I didn't care what kind of a dog. It could have been a big dog, like a Saint Bernard, or a small dog, like a Pomeranian. Heck, I would have been happy with a mixed breed, like a Saint Bernard. But there was no way. Dad's allergic to fur, and Mom's afraid of poop. So I took matters into my own hands, and I brought home a parrot. Turns out this parrot is stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. It doesn't talk. It just flaps its wings and pecks my fingers. What good is a parrot if it doesn't talk? I was for sure my parents would make me take him back, but they fell in love with the stupid thing. They loved it more than me. So I started thinking of ways that I could do him in, like putting him in the blender, putting aspirin in his birdseed. Hey, I could just leave a window open and let him fly away. Then one morning, I came down to breakfast and found him walking across my waffles. That's it, I said. Your time has come. And I reached for that frying pan, and I swung it high in the air. And just as I was about to flatten him, he looked up at me with his beady little eyes and spoke for the very first time. And do you know what he said? Woof. That's right. Woof. Turns out that bird's not stupid at all. And he knew what was going on the whole time. He knew I wanted a dog instead. So he deliberately snubbed me. Just ask my parents. They say he talks all the time when I'm not around. That's why they love him so much. Now, I'm more careful when I open my mouth, because you never know who might be listening.
There are two kinds of dreams. The kind you have when you're asleep, and the kind you have when you're awake. But as far as I can tell, you can't control either of them.
I had a dream about a birthday cake. It was covered in millions of candles, and every time I tried to blow one out, an alien came out of the cake. Soon, I was surrounded by millions of aliens, all covered in green icing. But I didn't mind the aliens. With so many around, I no longer felt like one. And the icing was delicious.
I used to dream about becoming a doctor.
I had a dream.
I wanted to be a doctor.
And now,
Well, that's just not gonna happen.
how can a dream survive high school? Point A to point B. Most people can get there without much trouble. But then again, I'm not most people. Point C. Why do I have to leave point A? Point D. What if B's a trick? E. How do I know when I get there? F. What do I even do when I get there? G. Who else is going to be there? H. Can I go back if I want to? And I don't want to. Now these detours drive my teachers crazy, but I always manage to get there. Eventually. Unfortunately, teachers don't have much patience for eventually, and by the time I get there, everyone else has left me behind. So I ask myself, what's the point?
I was shaking. I'd never talked in front of a group of people before. Okay, granted, it wasn't the whole world, but it might as well have been. The mean girls were in front, and the cute boys, well, they were in back. I was terrified. And do you know what my drama teacher actually told me? Get this. She told me to picture the class naked. Naked? Was she insane? I'm 15 and I don't even look at myself naked. So there I was standing in front of the class trying to recite Shakespeare, and all I could do was think of body parts. Don't say breast. Don't say breast. What light through yonder window breaks. Phew. And then a thought occurred to me. Had she told the whole class to picture me naked too? I was mortified. So I ended up reciting the whole entire balcony scene of Romeo and Juliet with my eyes closed and my arms crossed. Probably not what Shakespeare had in mind, but he's dead. So too bad.
I don't know how the rumor got started, but I sure as hell know how it ended. 50 stitches, 2 broken bones, and a black eye. I wasn't even in the showers that day, so how could I have looked at it? But that's the thing about small talk. It keeps getting bigger and bigger until somebody gets clobbered by it.
Do these pants make me look fat? Am I fat?
Where did this come from?
Where
did these come from?
Do you think anyone will notice?
Does this cover it up?
Should I dye my hair blue?
Should I cut my bangs?
Will it make me stand out? How can I fit in? Do I have to shave my legs? When can I shave my legs?
Do I stink?
Why can't I just shower at home?
Is everyone looking at me?
Why is everyone looking at me? Stop looking at me!
The human body. It comes in all shapes and all sizes. Some people have large feet. Others have tiny hands. But when you really start to look, the list never ends. Short legs, long neck, wide hips, skinny knees, fat tummies, flat chest, round nose, thick lips, small eyes. And as for myself, I have just enough of these differences to make me exactly like everyone else. But if I could change one thing, I'd change my ears. I'd make them smaller. That way, I wouldn't have to listen to everyone complain about their fat tummies, their flat chests, and their thick lips. This stuff doesn't even matter.
When I turned 16, I knew exactly where I was headed first.
Welcome to McDonald's.
Drive-through windows are seriously the best invention ever. You talk into a little speaker and you get exactly what you want.
May I take your order?
I'll have a double bacon cheeseburger, 2 large fries, 10-piece chicken nuggets, a large shake, and a Diet Coke.
What kind of sauce would you like with your nuggets?
Mayo. Lots of mayo.
And would you like to supersize your fries?
Sure, why not? I'm starving.
You mean all this food is for you?
Yeah? So?
So won't all this food make you sick?
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
But what do you mean?
I mean, I got it covered. Mind your own business.
Okay, drive ahead to the first window.
My hair started falling out when I was 15. First it was just a few strands on my coat, a few more in the sink, and then a tuft or two on my pillow at night. And next thing you know, there's this huge bald spot right on the top of my head. And when I say huge, I mean so huge that you could land a helicopter on it. Now, I did expect it to happen. I mean, my dad's bald, my uncle's bald, even my grandma's bald. But I kind of expected it to happen, later. I'm the only kid in my yearbook that looks like an insurance salesman. So I started wearing hats, fedoras, baseball caps, skater hats, anything just to cover up my hideous bald spot. You know the problem with that, though? They don't let students wear hats in school. What kind of stupid rule is that? I even had this theory going that if students wore hats, they'd retain more information. But for some reason, the principal just wouldn't buy it. So I had no choice but to grow my hair out long in the back and comb it forward. Which, that worked all right until one day in class, my chemistry teacher pointed me out and said, "Hey, I'll have to try that." So I went for broke and just shaved my head bald. And you know what people wanted to do? They wanted to rub my scalp and call me Mr. Clean. I guess I'll just have to live with it, which it wouldn't be so bad if I didn't have to go from class to class every day. It feels like I'm running a gauntlet just trying to get from one room to the next without people laughing at me and picking on me. They say when running a gauntlet to keep your head down. But I hardly think that applies when it's your head that everyone is talking about.
It's not that I don't know what to say, it's that I don't know how to say it. Every time I open my mouth to talk,
Zip, zap, bang!
I try to control it, but I can't. I think about waterfalls, racetracks, ticking clocks, tick-tock, anything to keep myself calm. But how can I stay calm when I've got a grenade in my mouth that's ready to go off at any second? How can I stay calm when it's my thoughts that pull the pin?
Zip, zap, bang, pop!
Do you want to know what the worst thing is? It's not my teachers. I don't care if Mrs. Gravel thinks I'm stupid, or if Mr. Weed thinks I'm weird. Stupid and weird are the status quo in high school. No, What's worse is not my classes, and it is not my friends. The thing that ties my tongue and everything around it is tick-tock, girls. Real sexy, huh? Trust me, nobody wants to go out with a ticking time bomb.
It was Valentine's Day, and Mrs. Freethy decided that we should all exchange Valentines. So she handed out the red construction paper and taught us how to make those little hearts. She showed us how to fold the paper in half and she cut out half of the heart. So then when we unfolded it, our heart would be complete. And after we put all the lace and glitter on, it was time to hand them out. Now Katie has long, beautiful red hair and perfect teeth, so she got about 1 million. Benjamin knows how to dunk a basketball, so his desk was covered. And as for myself, I only got 1, and that was from Mrs. Freethy. She never said it. But guessing she didn't want me to go home with only half a heart.
I've been going out with Taryn for a while now, and she's nice and all, but God, all she ever wants to do is talk on the phone.
Hey, Maddie, what's up?
I could be sitting right next to her and she'd still dig out her phone and dial my number.
What you doing?
How hard would it be for her to look me in the eye and talk like a normal person?
You are so cute.
But maybe that's the thing. Maybe she doesn't want to look me in the eye.
I love you.
Sometimes I wonder if she loves her cell phone more than she loves me. And if that's the case, what does that make me? Pimp?
Copy.
It's like our relationship is heading into a tunnel and the connection keeps getting weaker and weaker.
We're breaking up.
We're breaking up and nothing in the world can bring us closer together.
TTYL.
Not even a cell phone.
Talent night came around, and my parents were so proud of me. They couldn't wait to hear my poem. They wouldn't miss it for the world. Things I Shouldn't Have to Say by Rebecca Donnelly. Mom, are you okay? Dad, what's wrong? I wish they'd just stop fighting. Why can't they just get along? Stop fighting! Wait, where are you going? Oh, where will I go? I guess I'll be at Mom's because I can't drive to Dad's. That's Dad's girlfriend, and Mom's remarried. No, I'm never getting married. The end. They said it was beautiful.
You told me not to say anything. You told me it wouldn't hurt. You told me that I was special. I told him he was wrong.
I like to sleep with a nightlight on. When I wake up, I want to know it's for real.
They say that there's a light at the end of a tunnel. The light must be God. So why is there a tunnel?
Is it like unplugging a TV? Does heaven exist?
I don't know what I believe.
What do you believe? Do you believe? Then what?
Are you afraid?
I'm not afraid.
Is it quick?
Does it hurt?
I'm not ready.
I'm terrified of the dark.
Don't turn out the light.
Not yet!
I didn't know where else to go.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
I walked up the front steps of the church and pushed open the heavy wooden doors. As I walked inside, the sun was shining through a big stained glass window, and I got hit by a bright red spotlight. As I walked closer to the front, the colors changed from red to blue to purple to green. As I got to the front, they were yellow.
What brings you here, my son?
I want to know what happens after you die.
What do you think happens?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yes, nothing.
If that's the way you feel, why be afraid of nothing?
I'm not afraid.
Then why are you here?
I want to know what happens to my thoughts.
Your thoughts.
My ideas, dreams, opinions. Do they just disappear like I never even had them?
What kind of thoughts?
When I look up at the sky, all that I see are clouds. They say heaven's supposed to be up there somewhere, but I just don't see how. When I was little, my family flew to Disneyland. I looked out the airplane window the entire flight, but saw nothing, just more clouds. Who cares about Mickey Mouse? I wanted to see God.
Seeing is not believing.
If heaven is as big as everyone says, how could it possibly fit in the sky?
The sky's endless.
Everything ends.
Not everything.
Life ends. Then what?
Your soul lives forever.
My thoughts too?
I believe so.
Whoa.
What's wrong?
So when I die, I'm gonna look up at the sky and see nothing but clouds.
So, I dropped an egg roll into my grandpa's casket. Now I can explain. People like to bring food when someone dies, and that's exactly what my grandpa's funeral was like. An all-you-can-eat buffet. Well, anyway, my Uncle Pete is married to this Asian lady named Ming who's like super pretty. And she makes the best egg rolls, I swear. And it gives everybody something to talk about. No one's at the other end of the buffet with the salmon salad sandwiches. Everybody's at her end. And she comes up with the most amazing sauces. Have you tried the teriyaki? Dip it in sweet and sour. Dip it in plum. Oh, plum is my favorite. Well, anyway, after I got my egg roll, it came time for me to say goodbye to my grandpa. And as I stood in line, I noticed his casket was open. I don't know why. Not like he needed to breathe or anything. But I didn't know what to say. And when I came to the front of the line, I just stared at his gray whiskers, caked onto his face with pink foundation. It was kinda creepy, actually. And since I didn't know what to say, I said the first thing that came to my mind. Here, Grandpa, try an egg roll. They're delicious. And that's when it happened. I felt the line nudge me forward to move on, and then plop. An egg roll. Right next to my grandpa in his casket. Now, I know it sounds weird, spending eternity with an egg roll, but it kind of seemed like the right thing to do. He could get lonely. Or hungry. So next time someone asks me, hey, how you doing? I know exactly what I'm going to say. I dropped an egg roll into my grandpa's casket. It's a pretty good story, I think. Almost as good as the sauce. I could not believe it! Oh my gosh! I just scored the winning basket of that game! Oh, if my dad had been there, he would have been so proud of me. But he was away on business, you know. So I raced home to call him. And I was surprised to see Mom's car in the driveway.
Sam, honey, I have something to tell you.
That's when everything changed.
Your father is dead.
At 2:44 p.m., the exact minute that I scored that basket, his plane was struck by lightning,
Say something.
and there
Say
were no
anything, please.
survivors.
Just talk to me about
I had only one question.
Will you talk
Why?
to me, please?
Why him and not her?
Explain.
Dad listened to me. Dad understood me. Dad got me.
loved you very much.
And he was right. I did love it. And just when I thought I might be good,
Please, say something.
he was gone. Now who was going to love me?
I love you.
Who was going to listen to me?
Please, talk to me.
My heart died the exact same way that he did.
We're all here for you.
Surrounded by 200 other people. Completely alone.
You need a hobby, something to take out your anger.
My father's wise words. And I have to give him some sort of credit. At least he could tell that I was angry. But anger is pretty common in our household. Anyway, started up the truck and he took me hunting. Now, hunting's not exactly my idea of fun, but it sure beats the hell out of football. So he put the rifle in my hands and patted me on the shoulder.
That's it, now just stand up straight and squeeze that trigger.
I squeezed. My ears rang, my hands vibrated, I smelled burning.
Good. Now this time, don't forget to aim.
I aimed. I could feel my heart pounding, which is something it hadn't done in a long time. It was scary, but at least I felt alive. Unlike most days I just want to run, to hide, to die, anything to stop them from talking about me.
Kyle is so weird. He sits next to me in art class, so I should know. He has this super gross habit of sticking his pencil in his ear, and then when he pulls it out, there's this huge gob of wax on the end. It's so disgusting. It makes me want to puke.
I don't know why Kyle is the way he is. What I do know is that he ruins everything. He is the worst brother ever. My whole entire life has been Kyle this and Kyle that. God forbid we upset poor little Kyle. Can't I be the center of attention once? No, because the world revolves around him.
If you ask me, Kyle worries too much. Dude needs to take a chill pill. When we were little, he'd come over on the weekends to play video games, but he gripped the controllers so hard that he'd snap the joysticks right off. It's like he actually thought the zombies were gonna come out and get him or something. Got to the point where Dad said he couldn't come over no more, because he kept breaking all our stuff.
I used to date Kyle. Not my proudest moment, but I mean, I had to start somewhere. I mean, he was nice and all. He'd open doors for me and buy me presents and stuff. But sometimes I think he can be too nice. You know what I mean?
Okay, you guys, Kyle never tried to kiss me. Okay, maybe he held my hand like twice, but that's only because he's afraid of the dark. I think he thinks we're still friends. I have no idea where he got that impression.
Kyle is not my friend. Are you kidding? No way.
What is with that Kyle?
And have you seen the way Kyle eats his mac and cheese? He shoves his face into the bowl and then takes out the noodles with his tongue.
Kyle? That kid's gross.
Kyle just makes me so mad.
Kyle reeks. Has he heard of a shower?
Why do I always get stuck with Kyle?
I want to go near Kyle with a 10-foot pole.
Not Kyle again.
What's Kyle's problem?
I'm so glad I'm not Kyle.
Poor, pathetic Kyle.
Kyle just doesn't get it.
Kyle is such a loser.
Kyle. I have a question. Who's Kyle?
I couldn't take it anymore. They weren't talking behind my back. They were stabbing it. Everyone was acting out and lashing out, freaking out. They're taking all their frustrations out on the one person who would have listened. They're doing everything except for the one thing they should have been doing. Reaching out, talk. But no one was saying anything. All that I heard was noise. My ears were bleeding. I didn't know how to make it stop. So I did what I had to do. What else could I have done? Right in the middle of my story, with so much left to say. I closed the book.
Why did he do it? I can't.
He doesn't
Kevin? What did you want?
Where did things go wrong?
What was that about?
What was he thinking? It sucks.
It hurts.
Why didn't I see the signs? Can we talk?
I'm lost.
Go on. They're listening.